Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for coming today to attend the session with MIT World Peace University, Pune. It's great having all of you here. We're happy to introduce Dr. Suman Devadula, who is the head of the school, the director of the school. MIT World Peace University. We're very, very happy to have him here. So what I'm going to do is two things. First, number one, I'm going to share my webcam with you. So I just want confirmation if you can see me. If you can see me, please type in yes. There is a small little questions tab. I would like all of you all to type in yes if you can see me and if you can hear me as well. All right, fantastic. I'm getting a few yeses. Right, so hold on a second. There are a few more people coming in. Let me just wait for another 1 minute. Let me wait for about a minute more before we get more people, right? I think we can go ahead and start. So thank you everyone for coming here, and very, very happy to introduce Dr. Suman Devadula, who heads MIT World Peace University. Right, so sir, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make you the presenter, and yes, so now you're the presenter and we can see you as well, and we can start off with the presentation. Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Dion, and good evening, everybody. I'm happy to be presenting to you all about what the MIT WPU School of Design is. I'll be sharing my screen, and I want some confirmation that you're able to see me, as well as my slides in a short while. Just give me a minute. I'm just going to share my screen. Okay, I need to put off my cam and then share my screen.
Yes, we can see your screen, Doctor.
You're able to see my screen now?
Yes.
And hear me too?
Yes, absolutely.
Great. So I'll spend a small, brief while in talking about BDES at MIT WPU School of Design, and I'll be happy to take questions, which might be the significant amount of interest later. So let me go ahead. So at BDES in MIT WPU, we focus on humanizing technology, and the ecosystem which we have to offer in MIT WPU is a lot more than you have in any other university ecosystem. So let me go ahead with what I mean by that. So a bit about the university. So the group is since 1983, and the university is located bang in the middle of Pune in Kothur. This is eye view of the campus which you see. Several colleges of pharmacy, business management, telecom, polytechnic, etc. are on the WPU Kothur campus, and all of these have now come under the WPU, which is the World Peace University umbrella. Now these are the values we go by. The vision is that union of spirit, science and religion and spirituality will bring peace to mankind. We strongly believe in that, and we promote a value-based universal education to nurture the culture of peace. Now, this is something which is very distinctive of this university within the MIT group. the MIT group has many other universities. There are two in Pune, one in Kothur, which is MIT World Peace University, and then there is another, which is MIT ADT University in Loni. Then there is Avantika, and then there are others in Northeast. But this is the flagship university of MIT World Peace, MIT, which is the World Peace University. And the School of Design in context now is situated in Kothur in Pune. So the vision of the school is aligned to the university, which is World Peace University. So that's the legacy of the MIT group, culminating in the 2017 establishment of the World Peace University under the able guidance of the executive president, Mr. Rahul Vikarad. So these are some of the rankings which MIT WPU has. Ranked 5th best in private universities based on Times of India rankings, and then Jagran Josh, etc. Now, this is a slide on how design-driven companies outperform many others on the S&P index by almost twice over 10 years. Now, I care to put this slide because this is the third evolution of the importance of design. Now, I quote John Maida here. If some of you have seen the Design and Tech Report 2019, he speaks about classic Indian schools, and then the intermediary ones, and then the tech-driven schools, or rather the design-driven schools which imbibe experience aspects into technology. Now, this is what we need to gear up in terms of what design education needs to offer. We need to steer away a bit from classical education, be open to technological influences and the way in which we want to humanize those by design, and then let experience and design-driven innovation drive the business. So world over, industries are, organizations are realizing that, and it is a time very opportune that all organizations which we see move on to the third level of inculcation of design within themselves. And when that happens, there's going to be an explosion of design careers. There's already an explosion of design education, and then all of us should be preparing for that eventually. Now, this is the MIT WPU School of Design. You'll not find this identity on the website yet. This is developed recently, and we'll be updating the website very soon. So I'll just speak about some of our students' work before talking about the programs, and then take your questions. Before doing that, I just want to do a small check. Dion, is everything okay? You're able to hear and see my screen?
We're able to see your screen. Go ahead.
Thanks. Yep. So we have 3 programs right now: product design, user experience design, and visual communication design. We have 30 seats in product design, 30 seats in user experience design, and 20 seats in visual communication design. So within the next few slides, I want to show the expectation, the type of work, and where we are heading in each of these streams, so that you'll have an idea as to what to expect if you come to the School of Design in MIT World Peace University. So this is an example of one of my students' works inside a dedicated course called Design by Analogy. Now, when you talk about design being sustainable, there are several ways in terms of principles, but the best way is to be closest to nature. Now, what does that closest to nature mean? We have to be not just mimicking nature, but in principle, if we can be evolving along with nature, that's the best. So this is an icebreaker inspired by the woodpecker and the hollowness of the toucan's big beak, and he has made the ice picker hollow and out of metal, and the way in which the icebreaker is able to empty the ice is much better than the regular ones. So more than the product, the students also care to make a very nice poster, which you're looking at right now. So we look at design from a very integral perspective rather than splitting it into very many streams and then for whatever sake. This product is a prosthetic. Now, this has been made by Shyam. He's inspired by the single suspension of a unicorn bike. So the relevance quotient of things that we do in MIT WPU is very much there. The vision of the university itself is a very broad, life transforming agenda for which we cannot but take very, very relevant issues in terms of them being socially connected and then doing good to people at large. Now, what would be the future in product design? So the way forward, in my opinion, would be the way in which we could at best use technology to support our creativity. Now, the instance which you're seeing on the slide is the chair, which is supported, the design of the chair is supported through the generative design suite of Autodesk, along with Philip Stark, who has made several videos on this in terms of him thinking about doing something different than the morose things which he has been doing day in and day out. So he's quite fascinated about what generative design has to offer in terms of the breadth of solutions, given very real constraints like saving material, reducing emissions, etc. So if those broad constraints you bring into design, which need more than imagination, then it definitely means you'll need the help of technology. But having said that, we believe that imagination and creativity should be the students' forte, and we spend a significant part of the curriculum in training students in building their creativity and innovation abilities. So that's a bit about product design, as to where we are, what we are expecting, and then the philosophy in terms of the education. How's it affecting user experience design? There are several reports recently recently published even by Harvard Business Review in terms of how even the experience on a website changes the way in which people preferably interact with options. The particular example which I was quoting here is the choice of insurance plans which elderly choose when the experience of the website is different. So that's a recent 2019 Harvard Business Review study. You could Google it, and then that talks about the importance of user experience design. What you're seeing right now is the breadth of disciplines which actually contribute to the brown blob. The brown blob is user experience design, and you see computer science, communication design, motion design, human factors and ergonomics, industrial design, architecture, all of them contributing to what can be user experience design. Now, all of them have not equally hit design curriculum yet, but they will soon. And then we at MIT WPU School of Design have inculcated several aspects of these in terms of a curriculum, a 4-year curriculum for user experience design. Beyond what is right now the emphasis on interface design, user interaction, etc. We believe that emphasizing interaction design across gadgets, contexts, and environments for different personas and types of users is very important, but spanning the breadth of what is under user experience should also be possible within a 4-year curriculum. Now, this is the future we're looking at. User experience design has exploded, and it is still in that phase. Now, many of the user experience designers want to start off, or they want to work with startups, right? And in startups, the ecosystem is like that you get to do many things, and if you like it, you do it. But the expectation is that you'll be spanning a lot of the product development chain. Now, that means you can do a bit of front end, you can interaction design, you can do UI design and UX design backwards. So that means that students need to be trained as full stack developers, or rather full stack designers, not developers, so that they will be ready for the market. If they're targeting their own entrepreneurship, which is way forward right now for many UX designers, as well as employment inside the startups, which is booming right now in India, be it Bangalore, NCR, or even around Pune. So that has implications to the curriculum, and then the School of Design is set well to actually train students towards this. Now, how is tech affecting visual communication design? Now, visual communication design is an old phrase. Now, many people call it visual experience design, etc., but you've started to use the word visual communication design, but because it's pretty abstract. And then right now, we're focusing on visual communication design only. So we're talking about signage, brand identity, value communication, animation, etc., typography, and then this work from a masterpiece from Stephen Sagmister, where he has used elements of typography to affect or influence gun policy in the US. So we really talk about students doing impactful work, and the way in which technology is right now influencing visual communication design is in the same way that it expects designers to be open for technology. Now, what you see on my slide is Nutella jars. Although the shape of the jar as well as the logo type Nutella is kept constant, the wraps which you see around the jars have been generated by an algorithm after being given input about the identity colors. So the task was for the computer to retain the identity but generate 7 million variants. And this has created a lot of unique selling propositions inside its own heartland. Usually that 7 million jars were sold inside a month. Right, so that's a lot of value add for Nutella. Now, these are typical types of career prospects which you can see inside product design, inside user experience design, and visual communication design. Now, these are not run-of-the-mill, and many organizations, because of the character of themselves, are still defining roles if you're talking about UX design. And even inside visual design, depending on the type of roles or type of companies they go into, they'll be called by different names. So what is the takeoff from this slide? The takeoff from this slide is you could Google any of these roles on any of the job portals, be it Naukri, Glassdoor, wherever. That'll give you an idea of what the job market is currently with respect to the design positions. But yes, if you're taking an admission in 2020, you'll be graduating in 2024, and then it depends on the market situation there. So that's a bit about where we are and then where we are headed in terms of humanizing technology, and then the way in which we want to imbibe technology inside our curriculum. Now, I come to a bit about the actual part of the curriculum, so you'll get an idea of what you might be getting into. Now, before I do that, again, I just want to do a check with Dion. Is everything going fine, Dion?
Yes, everything's fine. We can see you and we can hear you as well. No problem.
You can see my screen, right? Not myself.
Yes, I can see.
Thanks.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're talking relevance, definitely. We have come towards those times where we can't blindly focus on one thing without not bothering about the planet and the societal considerations. So we are really impactful, or we want to be impactful in terms of good design being good in terms of planetary habitability as well as its social impact. And that's the vision that we have, to champion design-led research, pedagogy, and innovation that nurtures students to be designers proficient in addressing real-world problems and sustaining human development. When I say real-world problems and sustaining human development is because the vision of the MIT World Peace University at large is very much aligned to the Sustainable Development Goals, which are 17 of them. And consequently, we have a mission and the objectives of the MIT WPU School of Design driven out of them. Now, this is where a lot of students come from. We are right now 2 years old, and then we'll be admitting our third batch this year. And I'm happy to tell you that 2 of my students have won international recognition at the UX design contest by Solve.care. They made a care card, and then they've competed against 700 plus registrants, which also included professional designers. And then at the Hyderabad Design Week, Revati and Ritvik where the finalists at the contest for signage for the Telangana state. My student Dhanashri Bhagwatkar in the center here was one of the few chosen to be working along with researchers from MIT Harvard Design for Social Innovation in India. Now this MIT is MIT Boston and Harvard. So this was held by V School in Mumbai. And then finally, but not the least, out of the 10,000 plus registrants, 250 got selected in India. And out of those 250 teams, 7 students are from MIT WPU School of Design, who are right now working on the experiential aspects of AR and VR as part of Facebook's AR program. It's powered by SV.co and School of Innovation India. So that's a bit of accolades from the students' perspective. And what you get to hear inside the foundation here is this. You have basic courses in art, design, and technology history. Mind you, technology history also. Design fundamentals, severe emphasis on design sketching, 2 levels of design emphasis, design sketching emphasis, and technical drawing, graphics 2D and 3D, introductory courses in photography and videography, and introduction to design, which will help you get acclimatized with the 3 streams and also give you a choice of changing your stream at the end of 1 year. So that is again unique to this design school, where we allow students to change their stream, given that there is an equal amount of students from the other side also who would want to exchange. And there are some performance criteria which are determined for that exchange to happen based on mutual interest of the students themselves. So there's a policy for that. And then you have user survey methods, which is introduced inside the foundation year itself, because you need to be trained in terms of knowing how best to ask whatever you want to ask for your users. Now, empathizing is one level, but severe research and serious research inside anthropology has identified ways in which questions can be properly asked and ways in which they shouldn't be asked. And most of these methods which we use in design are adopted from anthropological research, be it ethnography, etc. So those methods and those observations have been straight away made into a course called user survey methods, basically in terms of making good questions and asking them appropriately. It also introduces you to different ways in which you could interview users, etc. And then a basic course in math for designers, and then introduction to programming, so that they'll be primed to take up courses later. Ergonomics is introduced early, and the first level of the design innovation project series kicks off in the first year. In the second year, you have design innovation project 2, and then third year 3, fourth year, it'll be a major project. But these 4 projects, which is the design innovation project series, is aligned to actually inculcate different levels of design-driven innovation inside your projects. And an essential aspect of the World Peace University curriculum is the practicing of yoga and meditation being mandatory in the entire first year. 2 hours every Thursday, the students are made to do yoga and meditate. And there are 6 courses which are about maintaining, affecting, and promoting peace as part of the life transforming education that the university stands for. So 2 of those courses come in the first year, and then the other 4 courses come in the later years. So the second year, this is largely the structure of the program. We have core courses of product design, we have electives, we have internships at the end of the third year, between the third year and the fourth year. So in the trimester format, we give scope for almost 4.5 months of internships, unlike your summer internships, which can last only for a max of 2.5 to 3 months in the semester format. So an entire trimester is dedicated to internships. And then when we say product design, we clearly mean product design. We don't mean industrial design. Now, industrial design, the way it is phrased, industrial design, has its historic precedence from mass manufactured goods, making them very ergonomic, aesthetic, and usable. But industrial design historically never spoke about new product development although the skills overlap with product design and industrial design, has made industrial design also drive new product development now. But the history of product design, which is from the Nordic countries, emphasized severely on new product development. And new product development has a lot got to do with not just problem solving, but opportunity identification. So that's what we mean by emphasis on empathetic opportunity sourcing beyond problem identification alone. We really want to be proactive. We don't want to react to problems which are existing. So we want to identify opportunities which might be future problems and then avoid them. So that's a bottom line which cuts across all the programs, be it product design, be it user experience design, or be it visual communication. So the second year of product design has some core courses. And I should also add that there is a strong overlap of courses which are common across the three programs, which will also bring the designers closer to each other when they do collaborative projects, which cuts across visual experience as well as product design. So inside a course called Design Science, we also introduce the students to different philosophies of design. We don't emphasize design science, but there's a lot to learn from the scientific observations of design. For example, Fitts law is a revolutionary finding for user experience design, rather user interaction design. So you'll be introduced to different philosophies inside here and the different schools which follow different philosophies, so that you'll be exposed to the reason why design curriculum or design education is so different in India as well as world over. Now, the concept of professional tracks starts from the third year onwards. Now, as I said in the front, we're not here in the business to actually break off design education also into silos of different streams and disciplines and branches. We understand very well that there is a significant amount of skills and theoretical learning which is common even beyond the foundation year. So from that perspective, we have kept the type of branches or streams as electives which the students can choose. So in product design, you have transportation design, furniture design, product design, and IoT, design for additive manufacturing, lighting design, which also has ceramics inside it, and sustainability by design. And the third year students can also choose open elective courses from the other faculties which the university has. So if some student wants to do a course in technological implications of design, they can take up a course in law, which is the faculty of law. So that is the advantage you get inside MIT WPU in terms of choice of courses, because it is a house for several other colleges which also offer to the common basket of open electives. We have a pharmacy college, polytechnic college, business college, management college, law college, etc. Coming to user experience design, so beyond the foundation year, which is common, we have the same structure: core courses, electives, internships, and projects. And this is the second year of the user experience design. We emphasize a lot on the psychology of user experience design across courses and implementation models, personas, heuristics, and psychology of experience. And we also have mandated courses of Indian Constitution and environmental science from a regulatory perspective for BDES. And an essential differential course is storytelling for UX. Now, storytelling and writing for UX is very important. So there's a dedicated course of storytelling for UX designers in the second year. There is a course which is common in behavior design, which has a lot of implications for user experience design also, but all the students come together in behavior design course. The national study tour is part of the second year. In the first year, the students go on a rural immersion tour. They spend close to 3 to 4 days in rural India, understanding the livelihoods of farmers. Now, these are the professional tracks of UX, and the students are also open to choose any of the open electives university-wide. UX architecture, prototyping tools, UX for technologies. You're talking about immersive technologies over here, AR, VR, IoT, blockchain, whatever. Usability testing, visual design, and sustainability by design. So that's the visual communication design program. Same structure in terms of core courses, electives, internships, and skill development. The second year of visual communication design, extensive emphasis on advanced courses in photography and videography, 2 levels of semiotics course, 2 levels of visual storytelling and narrative structures, and a series of design innovation projects also is there. So those are the professional tracks which the students can start taking from third year onwards. Game design, animation, instructional design, design for immersive media, space design, and sustainability by design. And as I said before, even for the VC students, there are university-wide electives which are open to be taken. Now, coming to the last year, you're looking at the last leg of the elective courses. We have a policy where students can take 1 or 2 MOOC courses and learn at their own pace and exchange them for credits. Systems thinking, which is taught in an exhaustive way towards the final year, and then design management and entrepreneurship, and a collaborative design project which can involve students from the engineering disciplines also, and the thesis project, which is the design innovation project 4. Now, between the third year and the fourth year, students also have an optional international immersion which they can pick up in the curriculum. So that's a bit about the common fourth year again, PD, UX, and VC curriculum. Now, this is the recent national study tour which the students have gone to Bangalore, Mysore, visited several product design studios, museums, as well as the UX studios. Some of the facilities that we have 2 laser cutters, 3 printers, and several state-of-the-art Wacom 24-inch tablets, which are real fun to be using. We have an extensive facility for advanced manufacturing, which has been also supported by Tata Technologies along with MIT. We have a dedicated carpentry shop, and we also have extensive machine shop floor, which is also used by the engineering students. So that's the Tata Technologies Center of Excellence we're talking about. And then the life on campus is very, very, very active. We have close to 40 student clubs on a 23-acre campus, and all of them vibrant with activity. I just wanted to check with Dion. Is it clear and visible, Dion?
Yes, absolutely clear. Fantastic.
And I think we are just 30 minutes inside the presentation. I'll end in 5 minutes and I'll take questions.
Sure. No worries.
Yeah. So unlike every other design school which has a degree expo, we have made a design expo with 1 year of work, which was covered inside the newspapers. So everybody was gung-ho with respect to what they saw in terms of prototypes, a lot of chairs, furniture, a lot of upskilling projects, or rather upcycling projects. And there were several visitors in and out of MIT WPU asking students with respect to their projects. We do this annually, and it's an exhilarating experience to actually build creative confidence. Arohan is the cultural fest, which is the university-wide, and students break free for several days practicing for the events and put up wonderful shows. MIT WPU otherwise is also known for its wonderful robotics contests. The government of India has actually picked up from this and then made it nationwide Robocon. And there's several racing clubs, Axle Racers, Piranha Racing, who have competed in circuits in Britain, etc., and then won top awards for innovation and design. Now that's the expansive field that we have, which is host for a lot of field events, and there are several indoor events also which happen annually as part of the sports summit. And there are several certifications that MIT WPU has to offer. We offer a design thinking certification, and the Peace and Yoga program comes with a certificate, entrepreneurship, leadership development, the 3 levels of immersion, rural immersion, national study program, and the international study program comes with their own certificates, and then the others on campus too. So these add value to the student passing out. So we have a well-rounded curriculum. There's a startup support in terms of the technology business incubator. As we speak, there are 2 student teams of design who have plans to start their own startup. Several of them have been approached by many enterprises around, and they're working with them in terms of starting off their own. Coming to the details of fees, the annual fees is 2,90,000 per annum, and then it is exclusive of hostel and mess fees. And the installments are largely in this format. You might expect a small change of the installment amounts, but the fees is approved. It is 2,90,000 per year, and it is constant all the 4 years if you're taking admission for 2020. Now there are several scholarships for the deserving. We accept UC score, UC 2020 score, and then we were planning an entrance exam. It was scheduled around the last week of April, but given the situation now, we are putting it towards the end of May. And if you register as an applicant on the website, admissions.mitwpu.edu.in, you'll be getting information with respect to when that selection procedure kicks off. So we have 2 types of scholarships. We have Dr. V.D. Karad scholarship, which gives you 100% tuition fee waiver for all 4 years. And then we have the MIT WPU Merit Scholarship, which has 75% tuition fee waiver, subject to some performance conditions every year. So that's the prospective placements. We are yet to pass a single batch, but we will be doing that in 2022. What the logos which you see here are companies which largely visit the campus. It's just a small snapshot of the several other companies also which come on campus. And MIT WPU, Kothurur being the flagship university and the university with the longest standing, there are several campuses which come to companies which come to this campus, and most of them have design openings, and we are tapping into all of those for internships as well as placements. Now, this is what people have said about us in terms of what they've seen the students work. And this is what the parents themselves have said. And this is what the students who have visited us said. Students from the other schools or outside MIT. Well, that's a bit about it. So please be aware about that star. 26th May is tentative. We are really working towards getting it up fast and then declaring the dates exactly. We're working with our vendors to get our exams going on. There might be a first level computer based test, and then you might be called for an interview. As I said, the intimations with respect to what the dates will be, we'll be able to better intimate you once you register as a prospective candidate on admissions.mitwpu.edu.design. For more information about the School of Design, you can visit the School of Design on MIT WPU website.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Doctor. I think it was a fabulous session. We're open for questions now. Anyone needs to clarify anything, please ask your question now. We have the top person in the university who can answer that for you. any questions? So please open it out for questions right now. Ask your questions. Sorry. Nikita Sounder is asking for tips to prepare for the entrance exam. If you can give us some idea as to how the what would be there in the entrance exam and each stage, and how do they need to prepare for that?
Yeah. So this slide talks about a bit about the entrance exam. So the MIT WPU DAT 2020 through the undergraduate program's entrance test of MIT WPU will be a computer-based test. It will be testing your general knowledge, logical reasoning, analytical thinking, observation, along the lines of UC 2020, right? But for a 2-hour duration. We also have a drawing component, and we are working with our vendors to actually have the drawing at the time of the exam itself, and then be able to upload along with the CBT, which is the computer-based test. So once you give this first level, we'll be shortlisting you for the next round, and then we'll be calling you for your personal interview, where you will be expected to get your portfolio, and then depending upon the review of that, we will be giving you a design task if necessary. So it is not there for everybody, but we will keep it optional to test you on a design task. And this can happen virtually also. I'm keeping that option open right now, assuming that the restrictions or the lockdowns might not end within the next month or two completely. So that's a bit about the examination process. Was I audible, Dion?
Yes, you were very clear with that.
Thank you.
Right. So the computer-based test is specifically this year, or is it something that's going to continue?
So the computer-based test is this year, 2020. We're looking at for this year only. And this is in addition to UC 2020. I'm not saying that students who have UC 2020 score should give this. No. Students who have UC 2020 can straight away come for the interview. The MIT WPU DAT exam gives students or prospective candidates another opportunity to actually get going.
All right. Fantastic. Questions? Any other questions? I think your presentation is very comprehensive in terms of the detail and the information that people are looking out for.
Thanks,
right.
Liam.
Yeah. Right. I'm just waiting for a few more questions from people. Till then, can you just elaborate a little bit on the department heads at your institute? Who are the people behind each department?
So we depend on a lot of visiting faculty. We're currently adhering strictly to the norms with respect to hiring talent. So most of our faculty are doctoral people. We have Dr. Sairusad Oja, who has a PhD in design and knowledge management from IIT Guwahati. And then we have Dr. Samrat Dev, who is an ergonomist by training, and then he has held extensive workshops and sessions in ergonomics in NID and many other design institutes as a visiting faculty. But he is a full-time employee for MIT World Peace University School of Design. And then we have Santosh Pakre, who has extensive experience in medical product design. And then he has chosen to quit industry after 8 years and then come to teach design here or facilitate design. And we have Mr. Anand Shetty, who is our workshop manager, and he's a very skilled craftsperson who gets a lot of craftspeople in terms of carpentry and the other professions or vocations, getting students to get hands-on with them. So these are the ones who are regular. And then we have several visiting faculty on campus, close to 15 of them coming and then handling various courses. So, as you may expect, user experience design is one stream where a lot of visiting faculty come from VMware, Synazip, and other freelancing UX designers also who take up the different modules of design. Yeah.
All right, fantastic. I think you have a very good set of faculty there. Neha Venkatesh is asking, uh, when are we expected to submit our portfolios online? Because everyone's preparing for their portfolios.
Okay. So we've not taken that decision. In fact, we are thinking of the first level of the computer exam or computer-based test around the third week of May, right? So after that, in case you're shortlisted, if there's a possibility of in-person meeting, well and good. Otherwise, yes, you'll be given a date where before you have to submit your portfolio digitally as well as be present online for an interview.
All right, all right. Couple more questions.
So tentatively, you can think about the fourth week of May or the fifth week of May, if you have to have a date in mind. Yeah.
All right, all right. Yeah, a couple more questions related to the DAT exam, I think, which I answered, and the Tanush, the questions, what you need to prepare for the DAT exam is here on the screen. Nikita, the same answer for you as well. Okay, these are the typical questions. Also, since I know both of y'all are already students of DQ Labs, whatever y'all have been preparing for, I think that should be sufficient for this preparation. Let me put out a few polls, launch a few polls, just to get a sense of who's here in this webinar. And I'm just waiting for a few more seconds before we get a few more votes. I would like as many people to address this poll.
Fair enough.
Yeah. All right. All right. I'm going to close this poll out. Fine. The second thing I want to understand is this. If you've already applied to MIT WPU or not yet. Just trying to get a sense from the audience here. All right. Okay, just gonna be here for a few more seconds. I'll keep this on. And I will close this soon enough. Okay. All right. Another thing I want to know, does everyone here have an account on DQ Edge? And I'm asking you this for a particular reason, because if those who have not, those who do not have an account, I mean, or even for those who do have an account, I have the next question open for you. Okay, I think Right, so I'm getting a few no's. So those who do not have an account on DQ Edge, I would request you to create one after this webinar. All right, that's that. And finally, I would like to ask you one more question. Now on DQ Edge, there is a small little box called Apply to Colleges, and I just want to know how many of you have seen that Apply to Colleges button, have gone through the MIT World Peace University microsite on DQ Edge and applied from there. Or if you've seen it, it's good enough. But what I need you to do is go to that particular site and apply from there. If I can share my screen with you. Okay, I will share it and I'll close this out. Yeah, so we'll do that. This will just help me get an understanding of the audience. All right. Right. The last question I want to know is if everyone out here is a student of DQ Labs or is a parent of a student. That is also a yes. And if you're not a student of DQ Labs yet, please select no. Okay. I will close this out in a few seconds. Okay. Right. Awesome. So some good responses there. Fine. So I think right now we're almost at the end of this presentation, and pretty much everyone's questions have been answered. So yeah. So please feel free if you need any more information to the audience here. If you need any more information, please do not hesitate to connect. Again, we have a WhatsApp group specially for those who are interested in MIT WPU. So you can either join that WhatsApp group if you want a link to that. I'll share that with you in, or you could ask any of our counselors. Hold on. I will just share that here. So that all of you will have this and join in. All right. So please feel free to join the WhatsApp group. It's open to parents, open to students, and thank you. I think this is pretty much it. We're very happy to have had all of you all here. Thank you so much for participating. And Dr. Suman, thank you so much for the presentation. It was really insightful and good fun. Okay, really got to know about the institute very well. Okay, thank you so much. So on behalf of my colleague Tejas, I'm sorry I did not introduce Tejas earlier. Tejas heads DQ Labs Pune Center at Navi Peth. So he's one of our
Hi,
core.
Dr. Suman.
Yeah.
Hello, Tejas. How are you?
Yeah,
All right.
hi.
All right. Thank you so much. We'll be ending the presentation right away. All right. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Goodbye.